The story of Genesis 7 is simple. Righteous Noah and his family were saved from the flood in the ark they had built. God also saved pairs of every animal and 7 pairs of clean animals for later sacrifices and food. The timestamps, Noah's age, the date of the flood's start, and the inhabitants' entry 7 days earlier verify the event's historicity. Everything about the flood account also proves that it was a divinely orchestrated catastrophe. The flood wasn't a result merely of heavy, sustained rain. Listen to verse 11. All the fountains of the great deep burst forth, and the windows of the heavens were opened. The flood event reversed the creation account. God removed the expanse in the midst of the waters so that it no longer separated the waters that were under the expanse from the waters that were above it, as we might learn from Genesis 1, verses 6 and 7. The waters bore the ark high above the earth, chapter 7, verse 17 says. All the high mountains under the whole heaven were covered. Perhaps before the flood, the mountains were not as high as they are now. Likely the flood contributed to their elevation, but the flood sufficiently covered the entire earth so that every land and air creature not on the ark died. 4 times that fact is told in verses 21 through 23. No wonder Jesus and Peter used the flood to warn people about the greater judgment to come. Life proceeded normally in Noah's day until the day when Noah entered the ark, Jesus says in Matthew 24, verse 38. When the Lord shut him in, as Genesis 7 says, he shut everyone else out. Noah's message of God's righteousness condemned the world, Hebrews 7 says, because his hearers paid him no heed and exhausted God's patience, as Peter says in 1 Peter 3:20. So, like the calamity to come at the final judgment, the flood swept them away. Terrible event that is used to teach us about the coming judgment. But the flood is also a symbol of divine grace. The second creation, as we might put it, was brought safely through water, 1 Peter 3:20 says. Peter ties this event to baptism through the resurrection of Jesus. Believe baptism's message. Jesus died as a sinner, like the rebels in Noah's day. But like the ark, he rose to new life, safely carrying with him all whom the Father had given him.